You just discovered what it takes to become a legend. Grab your eye. Let's mobilize.
How's it going, everybody? Handless TML back again with another Cyberpunk 2077 video. And today I'm actually going to be showing you how to get inside of Arasaka Tower using WeMod or your preferred method of scaling buildings. I'm on the PC version, so I'm using WeMod, which allows me to just infinite jump. But I'm going to show you the points of entry because it's scalable, but it's not necessarily the easiest to get into and explore fully, especially when you're doing it out of sequence. I think we just had, that was Saburo's office there. That's a point that you go to eventually in the story, depending on which path you choose. This is another point that you access during story mode. The point of the story where Hanako, Arasaka, and V are actually about to attend the board meeting, and you actually go into that office we just saw on the other side. Now this place is pretty interesting because I'm pretty sure it's only accessible from a flashback, one of Johnny's flashbacks, and actually these turrets, if I remember correctly, are actually firing at you at some point and you have to destroy them. When you see me circle around here, I'm just hopping around to show off the details, but something I notice when I get next to the turrets, you'll notice they're exploding. They did it again. So part of me thinks that's actually scripted. I may have just jumped along the path of the vehicle that you're in when that happens, and it may have triggered that, and look to see if that happens when we're in that spot. And that's the terminal that, if you guys remember the character Spider Murphy, she's one of Johnny's friends, one of his Netrunner friends. She actually worked on that terminal while they snuck into this building. Now the funny thing is that you'll see a lot of NPC bodies laying around. I seriously doubt they're in the same positions that I left them in at this point of the story. So they may just be part of the background. And here I'm just looking around and seeing which rooms I can access, but there's not really much you can do in this spot. If I remember correctly, I think you would be able to go downstairs from there and continue on. So this next spot I'm going to be showing you is how to actually enter the parts of the towers that you can explore. So you want to go around to this side of the building, and there's a particular window. I'm going to show you the exact path that I took. There may be other ways. Somebody may have found an easier way to get inside, but I'm going to show you the full path that I took so you'll know which direction to go in case you want to replicate this. And you want to go down to this red window here, and you don't necessarily have to jump down the building like I did. I'm literally just discovering this stuff as I go along. So there's probably a much easier way to get to that point. And I like to crouch under a lot of things, because one thing you'll notice is that V is actually short enough to crouch under a lot of objects in the game. Even within the parts of the map that you're able to access normally, V can crouch under a lot of things, and I've noticed that you can actually find, you know, smaller, I usually just find like items and stuff. That's pretty much it. And you'll see this is the point where I start to clip into the building, but I'm more so clipping into the exterior of the building. I can't quite get into the interior, despite being able to see it. And over here to our right is Arasaka's boardroom. So you can see that by the trees. And just for a point of reference, as you can see back there, we're back behind next to the orbital air building. Keep that in mind, because the point where we actually get inside the tower is going to be directly across from it. So if you know a more direct method of getting to that point, then you will definitely cherish. And here I'm just jumping around. I'm trying to find a point that I can clip through. And again, I haven't reached the point of the story where you would be in this part of the tower, so nothing in here has been touched at all. As you can see, I was able to clip through the window there, and I'm going to go back up actually just to show everybody. It's directly across from the orbital air building. or from the orbital air sign. There's the red window that shines into the boardroom. From here I'm just exploring the interior, trying to see what I can interact with, seeing if maybe enemies will attack me since the area is considered hostile, but it actually jumps in and out of hostile depending on where you're at. And it's more or less the same case here as it was on the roof. You'll see a lot of enemy bodies on the ground because of the event that takes place here, or I guess the multiple events that can take place here. You can still find a lot of lootable items, so that's one cool thing. So I can't tell if he's T-posing or if he just really fell like that. And I'm going to come back here at some point, or to compare to the quest that's associated with this, and I'm going to see if those bodies are laid out in the same positions, no matter which way you tackle this event. And then from here I jumped into this elevator, and it's a little bit more behind this room. And I'm not actually sure if you're able to access this room normally. I don't remember being able to. I never tried. And now we are on the other side of the room that we originally saw at the beginning of the video. Saburo's, I believe, his main office. And from here on, it's mostly just going to be gameplay and showing off the interior of the building and showing what I can and cannot interact with. Everything is being done out of sequence, again, so I haven't reached this point of the story yet in this file. So there's a lot of enemies that won't spawn that normally would. I usually always check the terminals because I'm always looking for little tidbits of lore. I was actually thinking of doing some lore videos to go over a lot of details about the story that are really hidden in the backgrounds and hidden in a lot of quests that are either they don't seem to be commonly explored, or a lot of them are actually hidden in shards. Some of the things that you see on TV, commercials, radio. I think I want to explore some more of that eventually. For now, I'm just showing off gameplay, and actually I'm going to be doing one more video on some out-of-bounds areas that I found. This one is actually part of the story, the one I'll be doing next. It'll be just how I'm doing in this video, doing it out of sequence, and showing you how to access it the way that I did using WeMod. And I'll also be showing you my preferred method of getting under the map, because that's my next area of exploration. I've been exploring under the map recently and trying to find more areas that are, you know, maybe hidden off from us. It's kind of hard though in this game because a lot of places are actually not, it's not like, you know, I don't know if GTA 5 or GTA 4 does it, but I know in GTA San Andreas, anytime that you go inside of one of the interiors, you would actually be teleporting to a room that's somewhere, you know, far away on the map that you can't access normally. And with Cyberpunk 2077, there's not a lot of areas that are like that. I really can't think of too many. One comes to mind. I want to say the room where Makoshi is, but I think I may have actually found that, but wasn't able to access it. And I've seen other videos where people have been able to access it. I gotta actually go reference those and see how I can do that. But I know with Cyberpunk 2077, a lot of the interiors for these buildings are, you know, reaching them is as simple as getting to the building and, you know, finding your method of getting inside of it, whether it be through the story or using glitches, you know, whatever. But that's one of the things that I remember being promised during the release of the game, or leading up to the release of the game, that the world, they were trying to minimize on loading screens, which it's kind of funny I mentioned that because these elevators kind of feel like loading screens if you ask me. But that's a story for another day. As you can see, I kind of broke the elevator here. It's weird because there's actually a couple of areas where I noticed that it does that during regular gameplay. You can see everything is pretty much empty here. So for the most part, this is just, if you're already familiar with the interior of the tower, this is really just walking through it, and there's no enemies here, except for, you know, they just have the cameras that go off every now and then. But it's really just empty, and there's a lot of loot lying around, and more of those bodies. So I'll actually be ending the commentary here, and the rest of the video will just be gameplay of me going through the building. Again, it's the exact same thing that you could find throughout normal gameplay, just with no enemies. This is just a way to get into it. And with that, I would like to thank everyone for watching, and I want to thank everyone for the feedback I've been receiving for the content. It's definitely motivating me to make more, so expect that in the future, and subscribe for more. Everybody be safe, Happy New Year's, and thanks again. See you next time. Bye.